Uganda stands to lose 500 billion Uganda shillings in aid funding annually, which translates to about 14.8 billion Kenya shillings, following the demand by the European Union Parliament to impose sanctions against individuals responsible for human rights violations during the recent general election. Now, despite the looming blow set to slow down Uganda's development, given that the EU is its biggest development partner, several journalists were today assaulted by military police officers while covering opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi, otherwise known as Bobi Wine. Let's get more from our very own Raquel Muigai.
Barely a week since the European Union Parliament recommended sanctions against Uganda by adopting 19 resolutions that took stock of the human rights violations in the country before, during and after their elections, and Uganda appears to be at it again. More than 7 journalists from NTV Uganda, Daily Monitor and NBS TV were on Wednesday assaulted by military police officers while covering National Unity Platform Party leader Bobi Wine, who was delivering his petition to United Nations Human Rights Council offices in the capital, Kampala. According to Ugandan local media, armed forces deployed heavily along roads leading to the UNHCR offices, blocking everyone except Bobi Wine and his 2 officials who were allowed to proceed to the offices before a military police officer ordered soldiers to beat up journalists. The EU Parliament had on Thursday deplored that the 14th January elections in Uganda were neither democratic nor transparent. They condemned the excessive use of force by police and armed forces during the election and their growing interference in political affairs, from the arrest of opposition candidate Bobi Wine to intimidation of election observers and journalists.
Uganda is one of the youngest countries in the world, and I want to take a stance for this generation, for the young people in Uganda, and it's those young generations that demand change, that demand democracy, fairness, and some fresh new ideas.
The EU Parliament wants the sanctions against individuals and organizations responsible for human rights violations in Uganda to be adopted under the new EU Human Rights Sanction Mechanism, the so-called EU Magnitsky Act, an act that was passed on 7th December of 2020, allowing the organization to freeze assets and impose travel bans on individuals involved in serious human rights abuses. A resolution that comes days after the United Kingdom Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, Dominic Raab, revealed that the UK took the decision to pause funding of 3 projects totaling £40,909, which were working directly with the Ugandan security services, projects which translate to nearly 21.4 million Kenyan shillings. According to a local daily, President Yoweri Museveni states that foreigners have always been wrong about Uganda and her leadership. In quote, "For anybody to think that Africans are dying to go to Europe is something that shows lack of seriousness. Well, personally, I need a lot of persuasion to leave Uganda. Why would I want to leave Uganda? I normally do it for friendship." The imposition of sanctions will be a major blow to the Ugandan government's operations, since the EU is Uganda's biggest development partner and gives more than 14.8 billion Kenya shillings in aid annually. At the moment, the UK is also reviewing the permanent status of other UK aid projects. Raquel Muigai, Citizen TV.